clever about it, to then making his way back to the back of the HRC garage, and gets a little bit of encouragement there as he thankfully seems to be a-okay after what was presumably a pretty hefty incident at turn 7. Jonas Folger making his way back in. Still 4.5 minutes on the clock in this free practice 2. Leon Haslam has just set an improved first sector, so once again just saying about balance of power from one sector to the next. That's a decent early effort from Leon Haslam. His former teammate Jonathan Ray tracking him there directly behind him on his outlap.
Yeah, and for Haslam here on the 91, he's just coming up to the corner where his teammate Bautista crashed. Bautista crashed into the next corner, the right-hander. You can see here just how much the track drops down on the run down in towards 7, and very easy to make a mistake into there, and very easy to get caught out through there. That's also the section where we've seen this man Scott Redding really struggle from turn 6, the long left-hander, down in towards 7. He's lost a lot of time all the way through this session.
And Scott Redding with a good few gestures there as he made his way out of his pit box. So not sure what that was all about, to be perfectly honest. But Scott Redding rejoins the circuit with 3.5 minutes to go. Alex Lowes is up on his latest lap, hoping to improve, and with the margins pretty small between the riders from 5th to 7th, he could well be looking to make an improved position. I don't think Haslam is going to do so on this latest lap. He's 0.8 of a second down after 3 sectors, and he does indeed lose further ground in the final sector of 1:38.2. Jonathan Ray directly behind him on track will now get up and running with 3 minutes to go to try and set his fastest laps of the session. And here is Alex Lowes, who in the end saw that lap drop away from him in the final sector.
Yeah, you can see that bike skipping on the run down in towards turn 1 for him as well. For all the riders, we're seeing them really take that aggressive line on the run into turn 1. They come down that start-finish straight and then just sweep from the right side across to the left, and that weight just keeps transferring all the way down. So that's one of the other factors that's going into seeing the bikes move around just that much on the run into turn 1.
Loving the coloured notes on the ledger as well.
It's really important. You've got to be able to make everything stand out whenever you're looking through the sheets at the end of each of the sessions, and you're able to see what's working well and what's been a bit of a struggle. Some crew chiefs are very colour coded about what's been a good run or a good lap and what's been a bad lap.
And some commentators have their blue highlighters, don't they, Steve?
Well, that's only because I've missed out on bringing a few other colours, so everything is now just really in the same colour. It looks like I've just been highlighting the Yamaha riders on my timing sheets all the way through today. But it certainly is a case of you want to be able to make sure that you're able to look quickly at what's come in as the feedback from a rider, what worked well, what worked bad, and what was able to see an improvement. And that's what a lot of the crew chiefs use as their colour codes.
Less than 2 minutes to go now on the clock. See if Tom Sykes can get himself up into the top 10. At the moment, he's all the way down in 13th position. Master of the single lap himself comes towards the line then, and he goes 11th. So 2 places gained for him. Jonathan Ray's down at the moment. Toprak Razgatlioglu looks set to be the man to watch on this lap around.
Yeah, Toprak just coming through to end the 3rd sector, and he's up by 1.5 at the halfway points of the lap. Let's see. We'll keep an eye on him on the timing screens to see if he's been able to keep making progress. He's still up at the end of that 3rd sector, and we know that he's very strong in the final sector. So we'll see if he's able to move himself up to the top of the timesheets. That's going to be the end of Alex Lowes' session. We've got 1 minute and a quarter left, so he's going to run out of time to try and get in one more lap. He just moved up into the top 5 spots, but it's now all about the 54 to see if he's able to hold this margin until the line.
Plenty of red sectors showing here. Loris Baz is on a good first sector. Scott Redding at the halfway marks up by 2/10. Jonathan Ray in the first sector. It's Toprak Razgatlioglu who's going to be the first of the big runners to get to the line. He's lost ground in the final sector. It's a 1:37.114, and still nobody can topple Loris Baz from top spot. It's going to be up to Scott Redding to have a go at it here. He's 1,000th of a second down after 3 completed sectors.
Yeah, worth remembering as well, Baz at the halfway stage, he's able to match his pace, but he's out there on a used tyre from this morning's session as well. He's just a little bit behind on track compared to Redding.
Toprak Razgatlioglu goes again. Of course, he will get in another lap before that checkered flag falls. Just 20 seconds remaining on the clock. Scott Redding making his way through the right-hander machine, twitching underneath him. Now comes towards the line, looking to find that 1,000th of a second. Comes through, and he is able to improve his time, but not his position. So as the checkered flag falls, it's Baz from Razgatlioglu and Redding, and it's up to Razgatlioglu over 1/4 of a second up at the halfway mark to try and displace Loris Baz from top spot.
Jonathan Ray comes across the line, doesn't improve it. That's Loris Baz, that is the pace setter at the moment. He's not able to improve his time. Top Rack, though, up by a quarter of a second at Sector 2, but we know he lost ground in Sector 3 last time around. He gave up another 1/10 of a second this time, but he probably has enough margin in hand if he's able to have a good run through to the line. But still a bit of work to be done for Top Rack to be able to top the times here at the end of day one. Scott Redding on course on a really fast lap in Sector 1 as well.
Yeah, Scott Redding also giving it a good go in the closing stages. The checkered flag has now fallen. It's Razgatlioglu versus Redding, and both up by over a quarter of a second at the halfway mark on their latest laps. Top Rack will get to the line first of the two of them. Blue first of all, and it is P1, a 1:36.975. That is the fastest time of the day, and a 1/10 of a second faster than Loris Baz. Over to you, Scott Redding. Can he hook it up through the final sector? About to find out then for Scott Redding as he makes his way through. The long right-hander still to come, of course. And it has been in the second half of the lap that Redding has generally been losing his ground. See what he can do here then as he makes his way through the final turn. That long right-hander that we've been talking about, and now drives towards the line. Less than a 1/10 he was up after 3 sectors. Can he displace Top Rack Razgatlioglu at the top of the timing sheets at the end of Friday? Yes, he can. It's a 1:36.886. Your order in FP2 and indeed in Friday here in Estoril. It's Scott Redding, Top Rack Razgatlioglu and Loris Baz.